right, let's see what you've been doing since I've been gone. What in the helicopter won't land in this church is that? Hi, I'm Pastor Richard Hartley, and welcome to Haven Ministries. This is my church. Come on in, let me give you a tour. So, this is our main sanctuary here at Haven Ministries. It was built, I think, around 1900, then it was destroyed, and it was rebuilt in 1920. So this is where we have our big services, and people come from all over the world, actually, to have a good time here at Haven Ministries. My soul is back. Come on. On this side right here, this is where all of the action happens. This is my favorite part of the church. This is where the band plays. Mickey and Jordan and the rest of the band plays. They sound like Earth, Wind, and Foolishness. We incorporate all types of music in our worship, from African music to Latin music, Hasidic music, everything. If you come here, you'd think you're in a world club. I feel like the power of music, the power of God, the power of the choir can overcome anything. It might seem insurmountable, but there's nothing that you cannot do without faith in yourself, faith in God, and hard work.
Richard Hartley and his beautiful wife, Stacy Hartley. I am so happy to have y'all here. Welcome to Demo Shell Entertainment and Fashions. How you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for having us, Michelle. Thank you.
All is well. Good. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Well, it is my pleasure. I want to tell you a little bit about Richard and Stacy. Richard has, I've known him since we were teenagers, but there's some great things that's happened in his life. He's a pastor, he's a singer, he is a songwriter, he's an actor, a music director. He's been recording with many different performances with Michael Jackson, Mariah Carey, Kelly Price, and so many more. He'll tell you. He's appeared on a TV show singing with Aretha Franklin, and movie appearances with the legendary Diana Ross. What you say? You was doing your thing, and I was watching you and Stacy. I was watching too, and I was so proud because I said, I know them. They my family. But I want you to tell us more about what y'all doing out there. As a pastor and the first lady, tell us about, how's this day? How's the day today? And comparing. Then we're going to go into how y'all met each other. Okay. Mm-hmm. Talk to us.
So I'm called to pastor Haven International Ministries. Mm-hmm. That's in Rockaway Beach, New York. Mm-hmm. It's a church that my mother, Naomi Hartley, she started this church in her home because, mm-hmm. as you said earlier, I was in the church, and then I wasn't in the church because I was exiled from the church for singing on Broadway. So I didn't have it. Well, that's the truth. So I didn't have a church home.
True. Okay.
That's the truth. That was back in the day where you couldn't have open-toe shoes, you couldn't have braided hair, you didn't wear lipstick.
Yes, I remember.
You didn't watch TV on Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? So here I am singing gospel on Broadway, and the church had a fit. So I was excommunicated out of that church. Mm-hmm. So my mother started a ministry in the house to keep us together, you know. And I was doing different things. We was on the road, doing it with different artists. And it started at home, and 2 people turned into 4 people, 4 people turned into 6 people, 6 people. So I came there one day, Michelle, off the road, and she says to me, she was treating me like I was Isaac and she was Abraham. And she says to me, my mother, put some chairs out because we got a guest preacher. I said, okay, that's good. So I helped her put some chairs out. I brought some musicians from the road to play for her service. This is her service. God called her. I wasn't on that conference call. He didn't say nothing to me. He called her. Uh-huh. So I said, who's the speaker? She looks at me, she says, oh, you are. Ooh. I'm not part of this revolution. Anyway, long story short, I ended up being the speaker. Fast forward, the church kept on growing, left out the house, went to a storefront, then went to a cathedral, and it's been 26 years now.
Yes. And let me tell you about that cathedral. It is so fabulous. I've been there. It is gorgeous. Just as you see these gorgeous people, That's what well, the church looked like.
Right.
It is a wonderful, beautiful place. It's elegant, and it is
God did
elegant.
that whole thing.
Yeah.
God did that whole thing. We were just
Oh my
agents for his use. He did that whole thing. He told me when I was around 10, 11, that building, because I used to live across the street in the projects.
Mhm.
And he told me around 10, 11, that's going to be your church. And I would tell everybody at 12 years old, that's going to be my church. I met her, she was 15. I brought her to that church. I said, the
Okay.
Lord told me this is, I was 16. The Lord told me this is going to be my church. I told her, shout in front of it.
Yes.
Because God was telling her that she was going to be the first lady. I didn't know that. Otherwise, I probably would have not brought her in front of that church.
You behave yourself. You know,
Anyway.
he's a comedian too. I just want y'all to know. So
America. And so I brought her in the church. She came with her flat shoes on, her church shoes. She had on no makeup.
she was always
Her hair was covered
together.
because she looked like she was from Bible way, but she came and she shouted in front of the church. And 40 years later, it became the word of the Lord manifested.
See, God is amazing. God does when you claim that thing and speak it, when you speak that thing, do you know it comes to pass? I just spoke something today, this morning, and I've been speaking it all week. Do you know came to pass? It came to pass today, but it always do that. This is not the first time. It's been many, 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 many more times. And so I know whatever I speak, because I'm a prayer warrior, because I pray and I believe, of a mustard seed, yes, God comes to perform what he said, and that's his word. His word is true, and I just believe it. But go ahead.
That's the foundation of how I can continue, because I wasn't in the church building when God told me that. I was literally like 10, 11 years old. I was like in the park, because the park I used to play in is across the street. And I heard him for myself. You know, don't call me out and told me they heard phone numbers and was spelling my name in the church. I heard him for myself, and I knew it was God. I'm 11-year-old kid.
When you know God's voice.
I knew. And I told everybody that. And we didn't have a bank account. I'm a paper boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little choir director in the church, but the Lord told me that's going to be your church. And he says it's going to be like institutional. And at the time,
and everybody know what institutional church is.
He was giving me a reference. God will give you a reference to where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Land flowing with milk and honey. He's going to give you a reference.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Something that you could relate to. And he would say it's going to sound like institutional. It's going to be full of music. And that's exactly what it is. And everybody from institutional has been to the church. And
I'm sure, because you kept a lot of events going on, you know, the musical that kept going on when institutional had died out, you know, from, and not to say that they are gone, but that music ongoing, revolving. And it's been amazing. And I truly am so grateful that God has used you and Stacy, First Lady Stacy, because y'all are beautiful. Y'all are examples to other men and women that are marriage couples that are going through. And you know what? If God could do it for you, he could do it for others. Tell us, Stacy, as a First Lady, what are you doing to be like the help man? How do you help to keep your husband, you know, moving, because he's always going?
Well, the first thing.
And don't tell her you cook, because you know that's not how it keeps me going.
The first and foremost thing that I do, Michelle, is to pray for my husband.
There you go.
I upgird my husband in prayer. I understand his assignment, international anointing on his life,
intergalactic,
and it's very important for him to receive him to have somebody that's reliable, that's going to be reliable and upgirding him in prayer. And this is what I really do. Honey,
for me.
Honey, let me.
You be praying for me. let me hear the prayer. Let me hear the prayer. I don't be knowing about this. I know
you don't know. We be in that secret closet.
Well, come on out the closet.
Behind the scenes. And it's a good thing. A woman will.
Wait, watch this, Michelle. Let me hear a sample prayer. How it go?
Father, I pray that you touch my husband in the name of Jesus. I come against every attack of the enemy that would try to come up against him. I decree and declare that no weapon formed against him.
Come on, no weapon
from
formed.
New York to Japan,
Don't
from
believe her.
Japan to Italy, from Italy to Arizona.
I wish you prayed on. I wish you prayed on some recipes from heaven. She have to
You
pray
can't
on
be
some
praying like that. You know that. You know, you feel that
Let me
prayer
tell you
on your shoulder.
Let me tell you something. We was in some apartment, and this girl, when she wants to get up at 5 o'clock with the angels, 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's
and
what I get up to. Go ahead,
No,
girl.
not praying in the house. I'm trying to go to sleep because I don't go to sleep till 3 o'clock in the morning. I told her one day, get up. You have to take that revival in the living room. Take that revival and lay hands on those knickknacks in the living room because I'm sleeping. That's what isn't that a true story?
You just told me to take my revival
I
inside the
said,
living
take
room.
your revival
And that other stuff up, right?
and go lay hands on those knickknacks in the furniture because I'm sleeping. So
Oh.
she wants to have prayer.
But it's really, my priority really, and my focus in terms of ministry, in terms of assisting my husband and assisting the ministry is really, really prayer.
I know you're the backbone of that husband. I'm telling you, I know.
It's really,
because it ain't easy.
No, it's
not for first ladies. And I know because I've seen stuff and I was like, my God, I don't want to be a first lady. I just don't.
Let me debunk that myth. She doesn't have a hard time in our ministry.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't have it, but there's a weight. There's a weight that I think every first lady has.
Well,
but
you know what?
God gives them.
No, let me tell you. That's not really true.
Okay.
If the pastor constructs the church a certain way, her main is just dealing with her husband and the family. And me from a choir director, I'm no nonsense. So we don't have all of those wars and personality issues in the church. They're never coming for the first lady or the first family. Never. I mean, not one time in 25 years, because they know that's going to bring out the Godzilla in me.
Okay.
So we don't do it. We have an army of women and men that are supportive, that are really committed, dedicated. They don't do that he said, she said, trying to compete with the first lady, trying to put down. No. Because let me tell you what happened with our church. And that what you say might be true of other churches.
Yeah, that's why I said that, because other churches.
It didn't happen in our church because God blessed us. We didn't minister to the church. We got the unchurched people. We got street people.
On.
So it was their first time in the choir. It was their first time ushering. It was their first time being deacons and deaconesses. So all of that church drama, they have. Let me tell you something. I told the choir, listen, Dorinda Clark Cole is coming to the church. They said, who?
Yeah.
They didn't know who she was.
They said, who? I
said,
they
wasn't.
No, they're not those people. I said, okay, Keisha Cole from BT, her sister. They said, oh, we know her.
Yeah.
I told them Edwin Hawkins is coming to the church. They said, who? I said, oh, happy day. They said, oh, we heard that before. These people, church full of people, are not from the church.
Wonderful.
So they never fell into that thing.
Right. Gotcha.
This is the first lady they've had.
Right.
Wonderful.
So
that's
they
a
never fell into that thing. And that's a blessing for me.
Oh, that's a blessing. Oh, that's a blessing.
We don't do the church hoppers. No one came from 3 other churches. And if they did, they visited, they didn't stick around. And we've been there 26 years. So our church is really for new souls.
Newly souls. And that's wonderful. Because that's what you do outside when you go in the ministry. And you go outside and you get new souls.
And you're into fashion. So they don't have those restrictions about clothing and what they can't wear, because I didn't bring them up that way. The Bible says in the beginning, God created. And so fashion is just an offshoot of creation. It's about people's creativity. So pants and makeup and hairstyles. And I encourage them to express their creativity. So they don't have those old restrictions on their spiritual life, which makes it easier for us to minister.
That is so good to hear. And I wish that a lot of other churches would do that, because they chase away a lot of people that comes in there because they're looking at those church people, religious people, looking at all these people that's coming in, but those are the ones that need this. This is a hospital. They need the love. They need other than what they have on.
Look, they're tithing, They give their offerings. They show up. Their attendance is good. There's no pushback.
Mhm.
They don't fight with us. Matter of fact, if they think we're upset or unhappy with something, they bend over forwards, backwards, and sideways.
That's
You
true.
know, I have to
Absolutely.
testify because a lot of pastors, you hear them always complain about the church, complain. I don't really have that story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really don't.
It's not
I
our
have
story.
musicians that show up for every service,
Mhm.
tithe in the service. They don't walk out on the preaching. I don't have. We go on trips together.
Wonderful.
We go to Punta Cana. Or her
Mhm.
and all the women went to Vegas. She didn't win no money though. So she, didn't win-
I don't
she,
gamble.
she didn't win. She didn't win. I could have heard the numbers from heaven. You know,
Oh, Lord.
I just took a couple of people to the Dominican Republic like 2 weeks ago. Church, the staff.
Yeah.
So we
That's
travel
awesome.
together.
Yeah.
Adjutants. They bring with me to Japan. We travel together. We don't have those things. Nope.
That is
What a
so
blessing.
good to hear because
What a
this
blessing.
is the day that we need today is people like you, this kind of ministry for the unchurched. And
Church.
the unchurched need to be able to come in freely into the doors without being looked upon as,
Right.
oh, look at you. And we have those people that do that. And I've seen it.
Not what
That's
Jesus
why
wants.
I go to Pastor Summers Church, Brooklyn Tab.
Mhm.
And it's like so freely. Everybody just come in there as you, whatever you want to wear. And when I tell you the Lord is in the house.
Yeah, well,
woo,
I got that experience when the Lord blessed me to sing in My Moment to Sing on Broadway. After that, he took me to 20, 30 different countries.
mm,
And so, I mean, we went as far as to Australia on tour. I've done
mm,
concerts in Australia, Africa, and China. And so you get to see God in a different light in
Right.
creation
Mhm.
and with different cultural responses. I was in Africa preaching, and I said, and Miriam took the tambourine and went forth in the dance. Michelle, these women came out,
Yeah.
they were dancing. And I said, and the pastor said, oh, let's see, we do it here in Africa, and we know the difference. So
oh,
I've experienced him from,
wow.
from singing in DC to
Mhm,
singing in Ghana.
right,
And he's not caught up in makeup. He's not
Right.
caught up in all these traditions that
right.
sometimes turn people off from the church.
Well, thank God, international people are doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And if America could change their ways, and just hear from God,
Well, if I be lifted, I do what? If I be lifted, I'll draw
Amen.
all men,
men, not
all
just
men unto thee.
Pentecostals, white evangelicals, but Philistines. I've been to Japan about 200 times. Really, honestly, about 200 times. Those people are so humble.
That's what I
And
like about Brooklyn Tab is because it's so multicultural.
of that culture.
So you're sitting with every nation, the nationality that comes in here.
And you
And
have
no
to
one
get
is
used to how different people in different colors and ethnicities worship God. I mean, I'm married to a beige woman, so I know how the beige women do it.
he just had to,
And
right?
her,
Yeah, it's ongoing.
and
Yes.
her beige daughter just came in. They
I
beige.
love your daughter. Your
Black
daughter.
don't crack, beige don't age, white just might. I can't explain it to you what's gonna happen.
Oh my God. So tell us about the show that y'all have.
Oh,
The-
the red. Well,
Yes.
that's about our
What is
roots.
the name of the show? The
The
Red.
Rev. The
Okay.
Rev. And that's about our roots. You and I met, your family and my family. Actually, I wasn't even you ladies' friends. I was your mom friend.
Oh my goodness.
I was Mother Shirley's
Shirley
friend.
Cottrell.
Shirley Cottrell would come to our church in the middle of the week and set us on fire. And she
Yes,
just bring y'all along one time to sing. That's how I met y'all. But I met her, somewhere in Washington Temple. I was directing, and she came up to me, and I was like Reba's friend and Shirley's friend. Y'all just happened to get into the package. So I was the choir director. And you know how we grew up in choir rehearsal. We was
Yes.
very disciplined. And so I had this running joke in my choir: don't wear Uggs. That's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not wear Uggs. Because Uggs are short for ugly. And this first lady right here was standing in my rehearsal with Uggs on.
Ooh.
And I threw a tantrum. It was just funny. Unbeknownst to me, a friend of ours, Craig Crawford, is sitting in rehearsal. He's filming me. He is filming me bother these people in rehearsal. I'm cracking jokes. I'm talking about their clothes. I'm talking about their hair. This supposed to be choir rehearsal. And he takes this tape and he sends it to guy, Sean Court, used to be on the radio here in New York. Sean sends it to another guy, sends it to another guy. It ends up in Hollywood. And they go, this is a pastor? They go, yeah. He really talks to them like that? They really crack up and have to. They said, this is a whole show.
Yes.
So I went out to California to meet with, you got on pants right now.
Yeah, I do have one.
Are you saved? Are you saved? Do you know Jesus? Lift your hands and tell them thank you. Honey, so she's making lap scarves for women that's wearing pants. Y'all figure that out.
No,
they need it because some of them still need lap socks with the pants on. Sorry, I gotta go there.
No, but I do the lap scarves and I do the scarves, you know, for the face and I'm still in Stacy's specialties.
So you're doing the mask too, right? The mask.
I did a mask for him for the show.
Yeah, I see some of the masks. It's very nice. Very nice mask.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, with the pandemic that was going on, how did y'all survive that with the church? And have y'all come back in, and how's it going now?
Well, you know, when it started, we was hit so hard because my mother had passed away right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then my sister passed away right before the pandemic. She passed away from cancer. Then you know, Desiree, our other first assistant.
I love that. I was so hurt. I was so hurt.
She passed away a month after my sister. And then my right-hand man for 20 years, he was only 39. He passed away from liver cancer. This is all during the pandemic. And then the churches closed and couldn't even funeralize these people. So what we did was we had church for a few people here in the house. And they would come, you know, 5 or 6 people at the house. We did social distancing. We had church, and then I would cook.
I seen it. It was beautiful.
She wouldn't
cook.
Had
that white piano.
Yeah, I would cook because I wanted the people to come back the next week. So I would cook.
And I would clean.
And she would clean. and spray you down. Everybody left here smelling like bleach. Fabuloso, so whatever. And then, you know, we did that for a couple of months. And then the Lord let us go back in the church because you've been, and we have so much room upstairs.
Okay.
And we've been up there for over 1.5 years.
That's good.
Since, you know, vaccinations, and actually it was only God can do it. The church grew during the pandemic.
Wow. See?
No way. It grew financially. We must have got 25 new members.
Yeah.
During the pandemic.
Look at God. Because I think people were very afraid of what was going on. And they needed God. Yes. They needed prayer. They needed someone to tell them it's okay. Things are going to be all right. God has got us, you know. And when you close your doors and just stop, you know, completely, it's like you just left a lot of people to just drown and be depressed and become.
The Zoom service is good. It's good. And thank God we had it. Right. But it's nothing like coming together here and praise them and just fellowship. It's different. You know, thank God for the Zoom. It's different. And we have service tonight upstairs, and you know, they demanded it. You know what I'm saying? And it took them to another level in God.
That's great. That's great. That's good to hear. That's what I'm talking about. We're on the Inspired Living Network, and that's why I'm here. God gave me this platform. You know, it just dropped in my hand just like that. And you know, that when he says write the plan and make it plain, I wrote my plan. I wrote my plan from designing clothes to magazine to radio to now TV.
And we don't understand why we haven't been on the cover of your magazine. You got the wrong publicist. Fire them.
Well, you know what?
Next week, because you need my pose on it. This is going to be my cover pose. Look for it. Watch it. Come on, Stacey, do. Look.
Listen, I would have had y'all on there a long time ago. It was hard for y'all to keep up with y'all. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Bam.
Yeah, because she's acting like Vicky Winans, trying to be all over the place.
Oh my gosh, that's.
But I definitely want to reach out to you to do something as a photo shoot for the magazine.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Because it's a minute.
I even want to come to your church as you offered me one time. Lights, camera, action, runway. I need a runway fashion show.
It's a ministry because you help show women, and I guess I'm into their potential and their beauty, which goes down to self-acceptance, self-esteem, confidence.
Yes.
That's right.
When you look
And
good,
I have so many young ladies and men that looks up to me. They call me Mama D because this ministry too.
Yes.
You know, as I'm talking to them about fashion, they're also this counseling. There's a counseling going on.
well, you
There's
and your sisters were always fashion forward in the church. The Cottrell
Always,
sisters was
yes.
always,
yeah. I came late. I was always into it, but I came late.
that Jane and that Janet were famous for it.
Twins
Yeah.
were the twins. They were known all over the world. When I say that, all over, and they were known for their fashions.
Mhm.
So I get it from definitely my mom, my sisters, you know, they kept us definitely in fashion, especially Janet with her sewing and whatnot. She still sews. She's
Good.
no, she's not sewing anymore, but she's on that piano, that organ, tearing it up.
Good.
Yes, yes.
God's,
Yeah.
God's a miracle worker.
He sure is.
But it's so good to have y'all on here. But we're gonna come back again another time, and I want you to tell them how they can reach out to you and how they can come to your church if they're in the neighborhood of Far Rockaway, New York, right? That's New York.
That's right.
Far Rockaway, New York. They have a beautiful church. How can they get in
Well,
touch?
you can reach us. I'm on Facebook. It's Richard Hartley's on Facebook. On
Mhm.
Instagram, it's Rev Hartley.
Mhm.
And the church is Haven Ministries, 188 Beach, 84th Street in Rockaway Beach. But that's all on my Instagram and on my Facebook.
Mhm.
On TikTok, I'm Richard Hartley. Snapchat, I'm Richard Hartley. Group chat, the Richard Hartley. She
Okay.
doesn't have to, she's still on MySpace. So you can find her
I'm on
I see you on Facebook.
on MySpace. Mhm.
You can catch her on Facebook. But I'll have it on the credits. I have everything, all the information on the credits. I want to thank my audience for coming on tonight. I hope that you had a wonderful time with us because we, you know, we like to laugh, we like to have a good time, and we like to talk about fashion. But this here, we just want to catch up with some stuff and just talk about some things. And it was all good. Come back again next Friday.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you,
Michelle.
thank you, thank you. Come back again and come back next Friday, 8 p.m. Moshell Entertainment and Fashions coming back at you again. Love you. God bless. Keep God number one in your life, and I promise you won't fail. Have a good night. Bye-bye.